Hey folks, Axiom666 here, everyone's favorite hillbilly in Japan, coming at you again with some more of that Back 4 Blood content. But first, as usual, I am a Twitch streamer. I stream 4 days a week. The link is on the screen. Make sure you swing by the stream, check it out. You can also catch me on Discord. All those links will be down in the descriptions. Alright. So what kind of Back 4 Blood content I got for you? Well, it's another one of those Heng decks. This one, a Heng Shotgun Deck. That I like to call the serial killer. Yeah, I know. It's cliche. It's gonna make you a little name. Couldn't really come up with anything. I wasn't gonna call it the glutton, that's kind of boring. So I said, screw it. I'm gonna call it serial killer because it's cliche. So that's where it's going. The serial killer. Alright. Done running my mouth. Let's go ahead and go over to the deck and I'll show it to you. Alright folks, here is the serial killer. This is a very damage heavy shotgun deck that I have been using recently that takes advantage of Heng's food but buffing capabilities. The damage on this deck can get ludicrous, and its reload and its accuracy, if you really want it to, can also get really ludicrous. This is a very strong deck and is to be used with Heng. So obviously, first and foremost, we are starting. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. For those that don't want to stick around, go ahead, grab that deck, copy it, throw it in your game, give it a whirl. As usual, give me that feedback, come back, throw a comment in the video, Discord, my stream, anywhere, just let me know. So excited I was going to roll through that part. Alright, now, those sticking around, let's go ahead and break down the deck. First and foremost, it is a Heng deck, so I'm going to start with Food Scavenger. Obviously, adds more food to the world. You gain 3 additional health from all food. It's like having 2 Food Scavengers because Heng's got it built in. Very strong for any Heng deck. I set it on the Iron Chef. If you're going to play a Heng, you got to run Food Scavenger. Just goes hand in hand with him. Alright, following this up, we got an Ammo Mule. This is the only... well, that's not entirely true. This is the only general ammo card we have on the deck. 75% ammo capacity, minus 5% move speed. It's very strong. I wanted enough ammo on the deck to handle any shotgun you get your hands on. I don't think Ammo Mule alone is the best for an AA-12. I usually like to have Ammo Mule and Ammo Belt. I couldn't get them both. But it will definitely allow you to use an AA-12 until you find something better. So it's still really strong, and it gives you more ammo to use for a gadget that we have in this deck. Even though I know a lot of people don't use those anymore, there is still some of them are really strong, and there is one in this deck. But anyways, Ammo Mule. Following it up, Mag Coupler. Now, when I originally made this deck, I didn't have Mag Coupler. I actually had Ammo Mule and Ammo Belt. Which wasn't awful, but in the off chance you were playing a mission and you just could not get any cereal or find any cereal because none was spawning, you put yourself at a disadvantage because you had such low reload speed on shotguns, which is not a good idea because you are a DPS deck. So I went ahead and replaced Ammo Belt with Mag Coupler to give it that base 50% reload speed. Because yeah, I mean it's strong enough that where any shotgun you get, 50% reload speed will suffice until you bolster it with the buff from cereal, which is really, really good, obviously. So it was a really good choice. It made a big difference. So we do have one reload card in here. All right, following this up, a card you'll be shocked that I never use typically. Down in front. Yes, this deck actually has down in front in it. Mainly, even with, mainly because we have no accuracy cards in this deck. So if you get something like Attack 14, which has a significant crosshair, you still want to be able to cover hordes or specials, things like that. But you get that big crosshair, you will end up hitting and killing somebody. So I had to go down in front, had no choice. Once you get peanut butter, obviously that crosshair gets a little more controlled. I can use my normal playstyle where I like to stand up, shoot over the top of people, things like that. But until then, I can crouch and just shoot through people and or around them and not worry about actually damaging them. Works really well in the deck. Really good. Not something I use a lot of, but it just works really good here. All right, now we're going to go ahead and roll into the damage cards, and we have a lot of them. We have 11 of them. The first one, experimental stimulants. That's that gadget we were talking about. Now, this is one of those gadgets that's still really, really strong. In fact, it got a buff recently. It now creates a cloud that grants 20% damage and 30% reload. Does cost a little bit more now, and it's got its duration is 3 seconds shorter. Went from 10 seconds to 7 seconds. Oh, and it got a longer cooldown. I think the cooldown's 35 seconds instead of 25 seconds now. Still, it's not a card you're going to be using all the time, or a gadget you'll be triggering all the time. You're going to save it for bosses. Or in the middle of a horde, if you see specials coming, kick it off so you can drop those specials really fast and worry about the horde. It's very, very strong. It increases everyone's damage by 20% and everyone's reload speed by 30%. Very, very, very good damage card. Goes hand in hand very strongly with shotguns. Also good for a sniper deck. Definitely really strong for a shotgun deck. Just a really, really good gadget. Alright, follow that up. Glass cannon. Pretty standard. Gotta have it. 25% damage. Minus 30% health. Currently bugged and actually reducing minus 30 flat health instead of 30%. Whether it stays or it goes, whatever, this card will stay in the deck. That 25% damage, can't talk enough about it. Very strong, especially with a deck like this. Really, really heavy damage. Alright, following it up, Shredder. Standard shotgun card. Shotgun damage card, if you will. Each bullet hit causes the target to take 1% increased damage for 3 seconds. Stacks up to 15%. Once you get a few peanut butters and get that crosshair back in, you'll get that 15% up quickly on bosses and specials so that you can drop those enemies that much faster. Very, very strong in any shotgun deck. Obviously, don't need to say that much about Shredder. Alright, moving on, we got Confident Killer. Confident Killer is extremely significant in any damage deck, especially in today's meta or environment within the game, because we get so many specials now that getting to 15% is fast. It does not take long to get 15 mutation kills. When you or your team kills mutation, gain 1% damage up to 15% at the end of the level. You'll get that 15% very, very, very quickly because there's specials everywhere. Before you're even a quarter through the level, you'll probably already have your 15. Very, very strong for any DPS deck. Alright, Rolling Thunder. I don't typically get to fit this into a shotgun deck. It's usually one of the ones I trim the fat. But I went with so many damage cards in this deck that it made its way in there. It's not a bad card by any means. It's just typically one of the ones if I need to cut somewhere, that's where it gets cut. In this case, I didn't have to. Plus 35% move speed while firing with shotguns. Plus 10% damage with shotguns. Very, very good. It's just another 10% more damage. And of course, following that up, Shell Carrier. It's a little bit more ammo, at least for shotguns. Plus 30% shotgun ammo capacity. Plus another 10% damage with shotguns. Rolling Thunder and Shell Carrier go hand in hand there. Both plus 10% damage with shotguns. Two really good strong cards to have in this deck. All right, now here's one. Belligerent. It's the first time I've ran this card in a deck, and I've recently discovered it's actually really good since its rework. As long as you're on a good team, even if you're not on an amazing team, I mean, you're still going to have those stretches where people aren't going to die all the time. You'll go a few hordes. I mean, even if you manage to only go 3 hordes before somebody goes down, that's, what, 12% damage? Hey. I mean, what's this card do exactly? I mean, gain a stacking 4% increase to damage each time a horde is called up to 6 stacks. 30-second cooldown between hordes. So you can't just go horde. You gotta let 30 seconds go between hordes. Stacks are reset when a cleaner is encapped or killed. So if your team is playing poorly, every time someone goes down or dies, you lose all those stacks. But if your team is really, really strong and nobody's going down, and you get to those 6 stacks, that's 24% damage. That is pretty much another glass cannon. Glass cannon's 25%, belligerent's 24%. That is a significant amount of damage. It will definitely get your DPS up, and you will drop specials and things like that very, very quickly. Cannot say enough about this card. It is really strong. It definitely makes me reassess DPS decks that I've made or I'm going to make in the future of how significant this card can be. Don't sleep on this card. It's actually really, really good. All right, following this up, large caliber rounds. Another really, really strong damage card. Plus 7.5% bullet damage, plus 200% bullet pin. Both values add damage. Bullet damage obviously adds damage. Bullet pin also adds damage. It's actually a really, really strong melee card. Melee card. It's not a melee deck, silly. Really strong damage card. This used to be one of those cards I used to trim the fat at. I don't recommend that. It's actually a lot stronger than you think it is, especially with that bullet pin. Cannot speak enough about bullet pin. Obviously, if you're planning on going for an all bite or something like that, you're not going to get any value out of the bullet pin. But that is up to you. It's a playstyle choice. But really strong, really basic, good standard DPS card. All right, following this up, Silver Bullets. Silver Bullets is really, really good for a shotgun. Any DPS, really, but it's really good for a shotgun. Plus 10% bullet damage, plus 15% effective bullet range. 15% may not be a lot. Ick, until you get a spray and pray. This paired with a long barrel just helps you out that much better to take out specials at a distance, or even commons at a distance. Just a really standard DPS card. All right, following this up with Hyper Focused. Gotta have some weak spot damage in it, right? So Hyper Focused, that's the big daddy of weak spot cards. Plus 50% weak spot damage, minus 40% move speed while firing, which, because we have Rolling Thunder on, which is, I believe, plus 35%, actually only makes that minus 5% move speed while firing. Nice. Rolling Thunder and Hyper Focus kind of work well together. But really strong weak spot card. Follow this up, Killer Instinct. We already can't aim down sights because of Mag Coupler, so instead of taking Reckless Strategy, we take Killer Instinct. No downside. Plus 30% weak spot damage. Gives us a whopping 80% weak spot damage, which is really, really nice, especially when you're shooting at Breakers or the Hag or an Ogre. You can drop them very, very quickly, especially if you've got a full stack of Belligerent and you've hit them with a flash. You can melt a Breaker or an Ogre, especially Ogres. You can just make them think they never existed. And that, folks, is the deck that I like to call Serial Killer. So cliche. But it's very, very strong. Significant damage. Eat everything. Everything. The only thing I could see you stop eating once you get the accuracy you're happy with, or even maybe a little less than the accuracy you're happy with, because other people are going to eat peanut butter. Maybe stop eating peanut butter. But other than that, cereal, eat it. Power bars, eat it. Green beans, eat it as your survivability. Peaches, obviously, you can say peaches if you don't need them, let somebody else eat it. And the good thing is, even if you don't eat it, you're still going to gain value from it when somebody else eats it. Food will make a significant difference in this deck. I mean, say you eat 4 power bars, right? That's 8% damage to the end of the level. Just 8%, just willy-nilly. Very, very strong. Hope y'all enjoyed the deck. Anyways, yet again, give me that feedback. Let me know what you think. But until next time, happy gaming. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. And peace.